Hey guys, welcome back. Today's video is going to be so special because I think we've all been waiting for this video for about 2.5 years or so, ever since the initial launch of the Identity palette. So if you guys follow along on Instagram, you already know that we're launching a brand new palette after waiting for 2.5 years, and Identity 2 is now available. And I thought instead of kind of like doing a video talking about the palette and doing swatches and whatnot, I thought it'd be fun to create a look for you. And as I was trying to look for inspiration, I came across this Selena Gomes photo and I was obsessed with this makeup, and I thought, you know what, this is meant to be. I'm gonna create or recreate this Selena Gomes makeup look, and then when I'm recreating it, I'll kind of like chat about the palette, talk about like the inspiration and whatnot. So I really hope you guys enjoy this video. I'm so excited. I know that a lot of you guys have been patiently waiting for this moment, so I'm just so happy that it's finally here. And if you guys want to see swatches and whatnot, just stay tuned at the very end and I'll show you guys swatches. I am gonna have another video on Sona's YouTube channel, kind of going a little bit deeper into, you know, explaining why we made this palette, why it took so long, and all of that good stuff. So I'll keep it super short here so we can move on to the tutorial. The palette is $42. It is made in the US as usual, same exact formula as Identity 1, and it is paraben free, cruelty free, you know, again, same formula as Identity 1 and all the goodness that that has as well. We are going to have this online right now, so you can shop it right now. The link will be in the description box. It is available on our personal website. Our shipping is super fast, so I don't want to keep you waiting. I know you guys are patiently waiting to see this makeup tutorial, so let's get on with it. I love you so much. Thank you so much for the support and for the love for the past almost 3 years. It means truly the world to me. The fact that I'm here making another one of these videos is so surreal, because this was a dream at one point that I thought was way too big to make into reality, and here I am making another product for you. So it's just so surreal, and I want to thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart. So I hope you enjoy the video, and let's get started. All right, as usual, we're going to start with the base. I've already prepped it, moisturizer, primer, all that good stuff, and I'm going to go in with my foundation. I'm picking up the Dose of Colors foundation in the shade 119. I love this for going out. It's just absolutely flawless. It gives you just like that beautiful medium coverage, but still looks skin-like, which is my jam, you know? And I'm actually gonna use a fluffy brush to apply this instead of a kabuki brush. I do that whenever I want more of a natural finish on my foundation versus like full coverage. Oh my gosh, this is shedding like crazy. Woo! Dior, gotta get it together, girl. Oh my gosh, this is bad. Switching brushes. I gotta get the hair off of me now. Gotta cover that bad boy. Gotta keep that on. I just got this in the mail and I thought it was super cute. Clearly it failed to stay on. And then I like to avoid putting too much foundation on my forehead, just kind of like running the brush over it with whatever product that's left on it, so it's just very natural, because thankfully I don't break out there. You know, it's my problem area is right here. Anyone else? Going in with the usual NARS Radiant Creamy in Custard. And then I'm just gonna use a beauty blender to blend this bad boy in place. I want a flawless skin because her photo, she looks so flawless. I just feel like they don't use a lot of foundation on her. They don't use too many like concealers and powders and things like that. So her skin always looks so fresh and dewy. I love it. Going to bake my under eyes with a different translucent powder. Are you guys proud of me or what? I'm using a different one. This is the Marc Jacobs translucent powder. I feel like I always use my La Mer translucent powder. I'm like super fancy and all. Not really, but it is just so bomb. But today I was like, let's change it up, you know? I'm gonna really bake my under eyes because I don't want any obviously like fallout, and then set my eyelids as well. All right guys, I'm gonna move on to my eyes and then come back to my base, because I feel like obviously the eyes are gonna be the focus of this look, and I also don't want you guys to wait any longer. We're gonna go ahead and open this bad boy and show you guys exactly what Identity 2 looks like. I'm smiling so big because this, whew, this has been something we've been working on obviously for a long time, but I feel like everyone always says that. All of the comments and all of the requests that we've gotten to do Identity 2 has been so overwhelming. So taking that in and making sure that I was giving you guys exactly what you wanted took a little bit of time, but 2.5 years later, we're here, and I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I've enjoyed making the palette. So I'll just go ahead and do my makeup and talk a little bit about the shades, the packaging, and everything like that so that we keep the video going. So I'll start with the packaging. Obviously, we changed the packaging from paper to plastic, and this is recyclable. We actually have a program which I can talk more about on Persona's channel, so if you guys ever want to send your palette in for recycling, you can do that directly with us, and our manufacturer actually recycles them. Yeah, we wanted to make sure that it was durable. We wanted to make sure that it was still travel friendly. My thing with palettes is I have to have a really big mirror, because when I travel, I want to have a nice size mirror that I can do a full face makeup on, which is why this takes up the entire lid, whereas the paper palette, you really can't do that, so the mirror was a lot smaller. I just feel like overall this is more luxurious, it feels amazing, and I personally love it so much more than the paper, so we're trying to adjust and obviously get better at packaging and all of that stuff as we move along. I'm going to start with my transition shade, which is Loyal, and Loyal is going to be a light brown, and it's a really beautiful soft light brown. This is going to be a lot lighter than Charming, so if you have Identity 1, Charming is going to be a lot darker. And then we made sure to give you guys the same exact formula as Identity 1, because obviously Identity 1 is so popular. You guys love the formula. We've sold out 3 or 4 times already, and we are currently sold out on our website, although Ulta still has a little bit of stock left of the original Identity palette. So I know that you guys absolutely love the formula, and I wanted to make sure that we didn't change a thing about it, except some of the shimmers I did want a little more intensity, so I'll go through them. Like for example, Unique, which is a beautiful gold shade, is going to be a little bit more intense than say Gold Digger in the Identity palette. But in terms of the blendability, in terms of the matte shades and everything like that, it is going to be the same exact formula. Okay, next I'm going to pick up Brave, which is a brown color. This is more of like a warmer reddish brown, which I love because you can do a lot of neutral looks, but you can also do some fun, you know, deeper sultry looks with this shade. Using the Persona brush, I'm just gonna go ahead and pop this on the outer corners. And the formula is, as you guys know from the first one, it's very buildable and workable. It's got a lot of payoff, but at the same time, if you tap a couple times, like you're not gonna get fallout on your face like crazy, which is why I feel comfortable doing my base first and then doing my eyes. But I think that if you're not comfortable with that, then obviously do your concealer last, because it will help your under eyes stay clean. So anyway, I'm just building this color, so I've only picked it up once. As you can see, it's super pigmented, and I'm just making sure that it's nice and blended on my crease. So now I'm just gonna build it a little bit more on the outer corners. And then once I'm happy with the intensity, I'm gonna pick up a really fluffy brush and just blend out the harsh edges. And I feel like this brush works really well with the shadows because you really pack on the color. And then you wanna have like a fluffier brush on hand so you can just go ahead and blend. So as you can see, this shade of brown is very different from the brown that we have in the Identity 1. Identity 1 has Fearless, which is like a really deep brown, and then Charming, which is more of a transition shade. So I wanted to make sure that this was a little bit more versatile. It wasn't as dark as Fearless, so that you can wear it, you know, as an eyeshadow, or you can also wear it as an eyeliner like we do with Fearless. But I also wanted to make sure to give you guys a black, because that was something I was really shocked, but that was something that people really requested. They wanted a black eyeshadow in the Identity 2, and when it comes to, you know, development, I always get feedback from you guys, and I use our social media accounts to ask questions and gather information and make sure that we are giving you exactly what you want. So when it came to the color selection, I was asking a lot of questions, and black was something that most people really wanted. I think the black in this palette was the hardest to develop because blacks are very very, very difficult to get it to be pigmented without being too sheer and not having too much fallout. The press levels, it's a little tricky with blacks, but I feel like we're at a really good place right now where I made sure that it was buildable, so you can build it up to whatever intensity that you want, but it is going to give you a lot of pigmentation from the first swatch as well. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the main shade, and then I'll go on and put the black. She does have some black eyeshadow happening. So for the main lid shade, we're going to go in with Independent, and this is one of my favorite shades because I really wanted to make sure that we had some cool tone shades in this palette, because I don't know, for me, I love having variety, cool toned and warm tone shades, and I wanted to make sure that we had a nice gray, but that something that was a little bit more like gunmetal, had a little blue undertone. I was very, very specific with the type of like gray that I wanted. This was something we went back and forth a few times to really get the color to be exactly what I wanted, because as you can see, there's definitely some blue in there, and it looks so different on different skin tones. Chloe Morello actually just did a look with this color, and it looks completely different on her. I'll have to insert a photo so you guys can see it, but it just looks so different on her, and I was shocked. And that's what I love about the shade, is that it really does bring out the best in your eye color. It just looks a little bit more flattering and different on each skin tone, so that's what's unique about it. Once I pack it on, again, I pick up my blending brush and just make sure the harsh edges are blended. But yeah, this shade is so pretty, so it's definitely one of my faves. The other thing I was going to mention is that you can obviously use Fix Plus with this. I didn't use Fix Plus on this side, but I do want to show you what it would look like if you were to use Fix Plus. So you would pick up a generous amount of the product and then spray the Fix Plus over it, tap, and then just apply it. So as you can see, it just gives a little bit more of a metallic finish. I'm actually gonna pick up a little more. And so as you can see, it's completely different. Like, it's much deeper, it's much more vibrant. It really depends on what what look you're going for. So if it's an evening look and you want drama, you want a little bit of more of the blue to stand out, I would definitely wet your brush like this. But if it's during the day or you want more of a subtle situation, then skip the Fix Plus. Personally, I don't usually use it. I like a little bit more of like a subtle finish, but there are so many people that love it. I like Fix Plus with like lighter shades, I feel, like golds and even sometimes coppers or things like that, but deeper shades I typically skip Fix Plus. But I want to show you the difference. So now that I blended it, it's looking a little bit more like the other side, but we gotta match it. So let's just pack on a bit more here. How stunning is this color? I want to hear your thoughts as you're seeing it. Okay, so I'm happy with the base. So now I'm gonna go on and apply a little bit of black. She has such a gorgeous black faded cat eye situation happening. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. So now I'm gonna pick up the color black, and it's called Limitless. And I'm just going to apply this really close to my lash line and create a subtle cat eye. This is another shade that I love using Fix Plus for if I'm creating like a cat eye, an eyeliner situation, not when I'm blending it necessarily. So just like a little bit of Fix Plus just gathers all the pigments together, makes it a little bit more intense, and then when you put it on, it literally looks like a black liner. It's so good. So I'm just gonna apply this really, really close to my lash line. I just went ahead and baked a little more because if we do get a little fallout from darker shades, we can just dust it right away. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about the shades because we did a couple of different special things for this launch because Identity One was our very first product and it was so special to us. We wanted to make sure to include the first people that purchased our product, that supported us in the beginning. And what we did is we printed their names inside of the packaging. So when you open the cardboard, you're gonna see a bunch of different names, and I think there are like 700 names if I'm not mistaken. It's the first names of the first 700 people that bought Identity One. So it's really, really fun and exciting to include people like that. The other thing we did was we really wanted our community to name the shades of Identity Two. So we started thinking of different campaigns we can do to include them, include you guys in the process. And what we did was we asked people what their struggles were. And this is something that I want to continue because it really inspired me to also talk a little further about this issue because I feel like there was a common theme amongst people's struggles. I feel like we all have struggles, no matter how perfect our lives may seem online. We all have struggles inside that we don't necessarily share. And I thought it was so special that people came forward and they really poured their hearts out and really, you know, share their struggles with other people in hopes of helping other people to kind of overcome it and not feel alone in their struggle as well. And so from there, we also asked a different day what truly defines them. And it was so interesting to see the same people that have poured their hearts out and they shared their struggles came back stronger and were like, what defines me is I'm honest, or I'm kind, or I'm loyal, I'm independent, which is the names of the palette shades. So from there, we picked 12 of our favorite identities and we named the palette shades. And it's so cool to know that every single shade was named after a person that first shared a struggle and then came back and felt like that doesn't define her. What defines her is, you know, something powerful and something incredible. So that was really, really strong for us. And so like, we didn't even expect this to happen, but it was just so incredible that we were all so excited to include it. So it was really nice. We featured all 12 girls on our Persona Instagram, so make sure to go check it out, show them some love as well. So yeah, the shade names are all picked by you guys. I feel like her eyeshadow goes quite high, so I'm just gonna blend these up a little bit more. Maybe she has some warmth coming from the crease, so I'm just gonna pick up a little bit of Passionate and I'm just gonna pop that on the crease. So I'm gonna move on to my bottom lash line, picking up the black, and I'm just gonna, I used Fix Plus just to gather, again, all of the pigments together, and I'm just using a really small brush, which is so amazing. This is by NYX, it's B17. It's such a great brush. And I'm just going to smudge the bottom lash line and take it all the way. And then I'm also gonna pick up a little bit of the brown, which is called Brave, and I'm just gonna go ahead and build. And then with a clean brush, I'm just going to blend the harsh edges. I'm gonna go ahead and apply a black liner on the inner rim because I do think she has a black liner on and I do want this to be super sultry. And this is the Persona Cosmetics liner in black. Oh my gosh, yes. It like made my eye color even lighter. I just absolutely love it. This is a very black liner, by the way. So if you're not a fan of like super dark black liners, probably say maybe use a brown or a gray or something like that. Because this look, it could also be done with more of a brown, subtle, you know, situation. It doesn't have to be black, but I really wanted to create it as close to her look as possible. I like love black eyeliner on me. I always have to cover the cap because otherwise it will dry. Okay, so I can't wait to do my brows because now I look kind of crazy, but we need to do the brows. But I do need to perfect something I'm seeing right here. Yes, there was like a little gap happening. I do have a video on Persona's YouTube channel kind of talking a little bit more in depth about the palette, the inspiration, all of that stuff. So if you guys want to head over there and watch that, it'll be up at the same time. I'm gonna get rid of this powder and finish the rest of my makeup, and then we'll come back to the eyes for like mascara and all that fun stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and use my Huda Beauty bronzer. I'm just gonna bronze my face with this. Her contour is very subtle, so I'm gonna keep mine subtle as well. This is a really great formula, by the way. I just like apply it super messy and then blend it later because I find that to be super fast and it just works. So then with my beauty blender, I just like kind of go over it. And then I'm gonna do my brows because it is really bothering me on a personal level. You guys know my brows are crazy. So I'm just gonna fill them in. This is the Laura Mercier brow pencil in blonde. And then I'm just gonna top it with my Glossier Boy Brow. I'm still gonna come back to the eyes because I feel like I need to blend a little more, brow highlight, all that good stuff. So for my blush, I'm gonna go in with Iman's brand new collaboration. This is so exciting. It's with Catrice Cosmetics and it's a blush palette, but I don't know why this color right here is screaming my name. It's really dark, so let's see if it's gonna work for me, but I think we'll make it work. So I'm just gonna pick up a little bit of that, tap the excess, blend it on the back of my hand a little bit, and then just pop it on the apples of my cheeks. She also has a highlighter palette with them, and I'm just gonna use the Victoria, which is a gold shade, and I'm just gonna pop that on the high points of my cheeks. So beautiful. Very subtle, like great for every day, I feel. But I feel like it's also buildable, so oh yeah, it could get intense. I like that. So then just a little bit around the center of my face, right above the brows. I'm gonna put some Fix Plus on me so that we melt all of the powders in. Now I look wet, but we gotta give it some time for it to dry. Going back to the palette, I'm gonna pick up Honest, which is the first shade. It's such a gorgeous highlight shade. It has kind of like an iridescence to it. I'll make sure to insert like swatches at some point in this video so you guys can see what the swatches look like, but I'm just gonna apply this on the brow bone. Do you see that? Oh my god, it's so pretty. It has more of like a pink iridescence to it, and it's just the most stunning highlight shade. And I'm using like a fluffier brush, as you can see, because as I'm applying, I'm also blending anything harsh that I'm seeing right here. See, that looks so much more like natural looking and well blended. Okay, I shouldn't say natural because there's nothing natural about this eye look, but you know what I mean. Same thing on this side. And I'm not using Fix Plus because I do want this to be a little bit more subtle highlight, but if you wanted more of like an intense, you can definitely use a wet brush, and it is stunning with it. I actually really love this as a face highlight too with Fix Plus. It's so pretty. And then lastly, I'm gonna pick up the same shade and then use Fix Plus. And then I'm just gonna pop this a little bit on the inner corners for that beautiful highlight. Curling the lashes. For my mascara, I'm gonna go in with the Honest Beauty Mascara. So I used to never use the primer when using this mascara, but after seeing Tati's video with Jessica Alba, now I'm like, okay, I guess it's a must because it makes a huge difference. Then I am gonna pop some lashes because I do think she has some individuals or something. I'm also gonna finish the bottom lash line with a little bit of Independent, which is the same shade. I feel like this really ties in the whole look together really well. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with some individual Ardell's in short and just pop them in. I'm gonna move on to my lips, and then I'll come back and do one more layer of mascara. So I'm gonna use my favorite lip liner ever. This is the MAC Strip Down. It's so good. And I'm just gonna line my lips with it. And this is like a new thing I've been doing where I think I learned this from Desi, where she like overlines the center. So let's try it, okay? My lips are so dry. Jeez Louise. Sorry you had to watch the whole video with my dry lips. My bad. For my lipstick, I'm going in with the Tom Ford in number 14. Trying to get that exact lip color she has. And then I'm gonna top everything off with honey because honey just makes everything look better. I'm just kidding, but no, really, I'm not kidding. No, I just feel like it blends everything so nicely. I always use it over everything. This lip combo is so good. I love it. And it looks very similar to the one she has on. This is another thing I always do. I use this Chanel bronzer, which I love so much. This is, I think, my third one or something crazy like that. And I just kind of go over everything because it just like meshes everything together and it gives my skin such a lovely glow. Okay, now I look really dark for some reason. Maybe I went a little crazy. Maybe, just maybe. One more layer of mascara to really push the lashes up, and I switched the mascara to the Lancome one. It's a little bit more powerful than the Honest Beauty one, so I wanted a little more drama. I think the Honest one is great for every day though. So that is it for this tutorial. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I love how it turned out. It's very similar to her look, so love the recreation of it. I hope you guys are excited about the palette. Let's get on to swatching it so you guys can see all of the colors. and I want to know what your favorite color is, so make sure to leave me a comment down below. I'll be down there for the next 2 to 3 hours answering comments. And just to recap, the palette is available right now on our website. It is $42. We have a special announcement, which I'm just going to make it right now because I want you guys to all know that we are going into 450 Ulta stores at the end of August. So if you guys want to see the palette, touch it, feel it, it'll be in stores starting, I want to say end of August, beginning of September, because by the time all of the stores get it, it takes a little bit of time. So this is such a crazy big milestone for us. I'm so excited. If I miss anything, I will definitely have it in the description box. So thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Mwah. Bye guys.